Hi, I'm Olivia.
And I'm Gatlin. Disregard the air vent going on. Also, disregard our faces and our choice of clothing for the day because we've been outside. I'm itchy.
Anyway, yeah, so speaking of itching and disgusting things that make you itch, bugs are in nature, which we found that out today for not the first time, but it was reminded to us very harshly.
Yeah.
And we found ticks on our bodies.
Just now, in the making of this video, I found a tick right here under my t-shirt.
Yeah, and you know what she said? That's so cool, yay! And she picked it up and she's like, woo! And then she set it free into the wild. She was happy for that.
No, I don't want the diseases. I just remember whenever I would get a tick, I wasn't like, well, I'd be like, but then I'd be like, oh yeah, that was awesome! And then I
You also was a Yankee as a kid. That was awesome!
I just had fun with picking my ticks off, so
Gross.
Judge me.
But yeah, ticks are bad, but that's not the only time we've had a run-in with nature. I once was getting ready, putting my makeups and my toothbrushes on. And
Here, toothbrush
and so here it is.
toothbrush
And so
here.
in the corner, I look and I'm like, ah! And then I get my bottle of hairspray and I go to the spider. He was huge. He was like that big, and smaller than that. But and he crawls out and he says to me, "I'm gonna eat you." And I said, "No, you're not." And I grabbed my bottle of hairspray and I sprayed the crap out of that spider. And he kind of like went around like he was drunk and he'd been at the pub. And I sprayed him some more. And then he just kind of like died. And so the acid of whatever was in my hairspray killed him. And he got what he deserved.
I have a spider story.
She does.
Okay. So one day, actually one night, maybe even the wee hours of the morning, when it was dark outside still, like maybe 2, I was all like, I have to go pee. So I got up and went to the bathroom, kind of just sat down nonchalantly as you would do, because it's your toilet and you can. So I'm sitting down, and then I'm finished with my business, how it goes, and I look down. I don't know why. Check
flush
out
the
the
toilet.
I guess
You're like,
you kind of look down,
Oh.
and there was a giant little buddy friend, brown recluse, sitting in the toilet, swimming, taking a little dippy dip, and I was like, where did you come from? Because I didn't know if it came from my pants, if he was a...
Oh!
If he was... Not from my pants.
He was a rapist spider.
If he was a wee hitchhiker. I didn't know if he came from some far-off land called the ceiling. Or the window. I didn't know where he came from, so I was like, I just sat and you kind of stared at my behind for an awkward amount of time while I peed. And it was scary. I was quite afraid. And so I flushed, as you would. And I heard him cry as he swirled to the tunnel of death.
But something that I think is worse even than spiders, bear with me though, the house centipedes, as one might say.
Yes.
They're really thin, but they're long and have the long legs.
And there's like 20 of
and
them?
they run so fast. I found one. I mean, I find them all the time because I live in my basement because I can.
Yeah.
But don't worry about that. And so I'll see them on the walls, and obviously, like they're like, get a tissue, and psh, I'm like, never is that gonna happen. And so I just get a shoe and go against the wall, and then I'm not gonna clean that up because it's you.
Bug.
And so it probably stayed on the wall for a while until my brother got it.
Yeah.
And that was.
I just remember those house centipedes like crawling out of our bathtubs. And I was like...
They would come out of our faucets in our garage sink.
Yeah, I just saw them and I was like, those are like, I'm terrified of those.
I think
Or
those are
used
worse
to be
than
at least.
spiders.
Yeah.
I think those are worse than spiders.
They're creepy and they come out of nowhere and I don't like it. So house infestations, I've had a lot of experience with that. Every year, basically, there's a certain time around springtime when it's just kind of raining or the sun's starting to come out, I don't remember when, but we got infested with like ladybugs. They'd pop out everywhere. And I mean, ladybugs aren't bad, but it was just bad. Like they'd be in our ceiling and they'd just be like billions of them and then they'd collect all in the lamps and when you turned them on they'd just burn and it smelled so bad. It was just all the time there'd be ladybugs everywhere and they would not leave for weeks and we were just like
My grandmother's house, when we were really little, we'd go out into my grandmother's garden. She like is crazy about making plants and their growth and it's great. And so there'd be caterpillars everywhere, like hundreds.
Hundreds.
And so we each get like all these little caterpillars, and we'd make like we'd put them in like little nutshells, and then put them in the bird bath, and be like, freedom, and they always would fall out. And they're fuzzy, and so we'd be like, oh, and we'd dry them off, and then like, oh, there you go. And then there's one time there's this branch, like just like this little twig. And we're like, be free. And then my cousin comes up and grabs it, and like bends it back, and then lets go, and the little caterpillar's like, woo! And like catapulted out there.
Catapulted in caterpillar.
Alright.
Alright.
And so it went out. But we'd keep them, we'd put them in little plants, and we'd make little forts out of sticks and let them live. But did you know they could bleed? I didn't know that, but if you break them, they will bleed like people.
Fun fact, caterpillars bleed.
There's one more bug experience that we had together, actually, but it wasn't me. We were walking in downtown Franklin.
Oh my goodness!
And we're walking like Joe Cool, like, what's up?
With our friend Gabe.
And we were walking.
Shout out.
And the gal just like, ah! And I look, and she's like,
this eye.
And it was this big like beetle, like a big one, and it had flown into her eye. And she was like, did I get it? And we're like, no! And she's like, did I get it? No! And so I'm like, and I stick my finger in her eye and scoop out this bug and save her vision.
So bad. It felt like it was a gnat, but she was like, no, this is big. I'm still itching.
Yeah.
It was big.
It was like a little roly-poly, but not that.
And I was like, is it gone?
Yeah, she's like, did I get it? And we're like, no! It was so gross. So bad. Oh, that's what happened to us.
So moral of the story, wear bug spray?
Don't go into nature. That's not true. I love nature.
I love it.
Moral of the story,
Go into nature.
you're always in a war against bugs. Never forget that.